Alright, so this is a supplemental video to my recent post on YouTube about cubital tunnel syndrome, and if you haven't watched it, I suggest you watch that now. But here is more of a gory personal details about what happened. So, when I was a kid, I was a quiet, bookish boy, and my mother was more of a tomboy who considered the definition of childhood to be going outside and playing until it gets dark and come home all muddy kind of thing. So she often encouraged me to go outside, and my impression was that I would like to sit inside and read books and watch TV, and she really frowned upon that. Anyway, starting about age 10, I was growing up in Japan, and this is a time when the original Nintendo came out, and I was just hooked. And I begged my parents to buy me Nintendo because I told them that all my friends had them, and if I didn't have them, I would not, my social relationships would suffer. And my parents were very reluctant, but they gave in and bought me Nintendo, to which I promptly got addicted. I could not stop playing. And my mother, with her good intentions, said, "No, you can't be addicted to this," and she took and hid the Nintendo. But I was a sly and clever kid, and I've always found out where she was hiding the Nintendo, and while my parents were out, I would bring it out and play it. And I think there were a couple of times my parents found out, and they would change where it was hiding, but then I always find it again. And I'm not mad at my parents. They were doing the best I can, and it's definitely not a good thing to be addicted to, but they just didn't know what to do. And that experience really apparently gave me this idea that here is something that I love to do, but it's not okay for me to do it, and I can only do it in hiding when nobody else is watching. And apparently that idea has been applied to my music and my guitar, and all my adult life I've been wanting to be a musician, but there's this idea that I can only do it in hiding when nobody else is watching. And it sounds like a glorious excuse for why I haven't realized my dreams, and it's definitely my responsibility, my fault. I take full responsibility of how my life is, and I'm not unhappy with where I am now, or what my journey has been. I've made peace with everything like that. But anyway, this is something that's been eating at me all these years, and I thought that I've sort of processed it, but apparently I hadn't fully. And so when I realized that morning, after struggling with cubital tunnel syndrome for 3 months, that possibly I've reflected upon, perhaps I created this situation because there was something about playing the guitar and wanting to play it fast that I hadn't really fully allowed myself to do. And I'm afraid of facing that, so I distract myself with an elbow injury. So I wondered about that, and again, that's the thought that came to mind is I wanted to be allowed to play the guitar, and I wanted to have permission, in a way, to play the guitar. And so I said to myself, "Mommy, can I play the guitar?" And okay, you can tell I'm getting emotional already. And and then when I said that, I cried. And after that, I got better. it's just amazing. It's just so miraculous that I feel almost embarrassed to talk about it. But that's what happened. So my understanding is that this sort of thing is probably common to everybody. We all have these baggages of things that we want to do, but we are not allowed to do. We don't have the permission, we don't have time, we don't have the support, that sort of thing. And it's, I would imagine, I'm not like a therapist or something, so I don't know for sure, but I would imagine that a lot of us are living these lives doing things that we should, not doing things that we want, because of these limiting beliefs or mental conditioning that we've been given from our background, the environment in which we grew up in. And for me, that manifested itself as guitar playing injury. And by understanding and working through this inside, I made a dramatic recovery. And I hope that you can take my experience and see if there's any places in your life where you can find it applicable and perhaps unblock something and empower you to do things that you really meant to do. Alright? Anyway, thank you, patrons. I really, really appreciate you being with me, and I'll see you next time.